Welcome guys, this is our second video for 2022. I hope you've been making the best of the past week for the first term. Today we are going to talk about one of the big headaches when we write, not only when we do grammar, but when we write creative writing, when we write essays, when we write dialogues. These are those small little niggles that just irritate your teacher and that just cause red marks all over your work. So today's topic, common errors. Now these common errors do not only apply obviously to writing, it also applies to grammar, it also applies to prescribe because you write. And these are the mistakes that you make whenever you write. If you can eliminate these mistakes, your writing will be on a whole different level already. Now this is the first of the common errors videos. As we go along, I will post one of these common error videos every now and again so that we can try and eliminate these small little things that just make our lives difficult. So the first thing that your teacher will have an apoplectic fit about regularly is when you use SMS language in writing. Now, what do we mean by SMS language? This is our term for it. Well, you may call it several other things because you are quite familiar with all these technological apps and whatever. When you write you, and this is not part of a word, you write you as the second person pronoun instead of, how do we really spell it? Yes, you. I draw big, fat, red circles around this you if I ever find it in a learner's work. Your. Yes, that is your. You know that. You know it very well. Instead of what? Your. No, please don't do that. An excellent idea might be if you actually start typing WhatsApp messages out in full. And then we see how much you know. Do it for a week as a challenge, you and your friends. See if you can not use any SMS language in WhatsApps. Let's see how you fare. The second problem is the personal pronoun I. In the first place, I is never, ever a small I. Never. Although, if you say my friends and I, please take note, my friends and I went to the movies. I comes second because I'm not supposed to be that important. In spite of that, you always write it in a capital. Always. I don't know if it's the same in other places in the country, but I've noticed among my learners, especially the girls who try to use fancy handwriting, that they write I as an upside down T. They don't do the top little ledge of the I. No. The alphabet looks a certain way. In the same breath, I can say something about the backwards F. And it's especially the girls who do that. I don't know why girls, I suppose they try to be creative and they want their books nice and they try to be different, and then they write an upside down T for I, or they write a backward facing F. No. I think if you write a 3 backwards in maths, they're going to mark it wrong for you. So why would you think that a backward facing F or an upside down capital T would be acceptable for F and I? No, it doesn't work that way. Also, you often write, I as a person believe that, blah, blah, blah. I really hope that you are a person. Really. Not some sort of alien. That's a whole different conversation. You say, I believe that. Not I as a person believe that. Are you sometimes a lion? Are you sometimes a dog? No. I believe that, or I think that. Now, most of the rest of this video is going to be about incorrect spelling, because these are those first little niggles that we have to eliminate in your writing. The first one is happened. Now, you learned that if you have a weak verb, remember, if you think back, weak verbs, strong verbs, a strong verb changes eat, ate, the vowel changes eaten in the principal parts of the verb. But if you have a weak verb, happen, happened, happened, I add ed or d to form the past tense and my past participle. Now, you only add a d if the word already ends in an e. Happen doesn't end in an e, so you have to add ed. It is amazing how many learners write happened without that last e. Just follow the rules. 1 times 1 equals 1. So happened, the rule says if a word does not end in an e, I add ed to form the past tense. Weather versus weather. The first weather, the one with the H first, WH, is a synonym for if. And the second weather is, oh, we have beautiful weather today. Or, oh, the weather is hot today. Weather. This is a learning issue. You have to learn the difference between the two. You are not going to wake up one morning and just know. You have to learn the difference. So learn it now. I always tell my son, the sooner you learn it, the less you have to learn it in future. So learn it now and you know it forever. The next one is unfortunately. If I had 5 rand for every time that unfortunately, or fortunately for that matter, has been written incorrectly in my life, I would have retired long ago. Unfortunately, remember I add ly to my word, and my word was unfortunate, and unfortunate ends in ate. I add ly. I don't drop the e, I just add ly. Second one, whole versus whole. Whole means complete. The first one with a W, it means complete. I have to do the whole book for tomorrow. The entire book. Hole, the second one, H-O-L-E, is a hole in the ground. Or I hit a nail into my finger when I was doing woodwork and now there's a hole in my finger. The way I always explain it to my learners is whole, that means complete, is bigger than a whole that has nothing. So if it is complete, it has more letters. So it adds the W to show it is complete. And when I take the W away, there's a hole. There's an absence of matter. There's a hole in the floor, in my finger. The next one is all right. Oh, all right. It's 2 words. All right. It's not one word. In South Africa, we follow the British system, the Oxford. And in America, they follow the American system. We, in South Africa, we write all right. It's 2 words, all double L. This is just something that you have to learn. Probably. Do you know how many times you write it probably? It's because we talk like that. When you're in a hurry and you talk, you say, I probably won't be. Probably. You see? You eliminate the extra syllable there because you are in too much of a hurry to speak. So now you think you must write like that as well. No, the proper word is probably. 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 Please remember that extra syllable. Of course. Of course is a problem. 1 F and 2 words. Okay, 1 F, 2 words. A part of 3 words. 3 words. A lot of. I have a lot of Legos. I go there a lot. 3 words. 3 words. Embarrassing. Oh, embarrassing is really a problem. You have to learn that embarrass has double R, double S. Double R, double S. And then you add your ing. Okay? Gonna. What is gonna? No. I'm not gonna go to school. I am going to go to school. And what is cause? I was late cause we overslept. No. I was late because we overslept. And then, this is not a spelling mistake, but I brought it into this PowerPoint so that you can try to fix it as soon as possible. The difference between as if and like. Now, there's a link that you can go into if you want to go read more about this. As if. We use as if and as though, they are synonyms, to talk about imaginary situations or a situation that may not be true, but that is likely or possible. Long, complicated explanation, but look at the example. Yeah, just like I said before, as if and as though are synonyms, but we use as if much more than we use as though. Okay. For example, the floods were rising, and it was as if it was the end of the world. Now, do you know what you do? What do you put in the place of as if there? Like. Yes. The floods were rising, and it was like it was the end of the world. No. As if. Imaginary situation. Look at the definition. Or something that may not be true, but it is likely or possible. Another example. It looks as if they've had a shock. Now what you write is, it looks like they had a shock. As if, not like, as if. Now like. Transitive verb, remember transitive verb is a verb that has a subject. Or it can have an implied subject. I always tell my learners, only place you use like, in a sentence is if you say, my son likes baseball, if it's a verb. Now, like is not only a transitive verb. There are other examples, but this is the best way to explain it to you. My son likes baseball, to feel attraction towards or to take pleasure in. Or, if you have a wish, I would like a drink. Still a verb, transitive verb. This plant likes dry soil, transitive verb. I liked Lone Fox's video. Oh, I don't know if you know Lone Fox. He does makeovers and DIYs. Very interesting. So, if we go back to the difference between as if and like, it feels as if he is angry with me. I like maths. Don't confuse the two. Remember those two examples. And then whenever you want to use the word like in a sentence, you stop, you see big red light now, big red light. You stop and you ask yourself, it is as if he is angry with me. I like maths. Which one of those two examples should I use in my sentence? And then you won't make a mistake. Let's get back to incorrect spelling. Into. The word into is one word. Remember, when I want to indicate change or, of position, change, I walk into the room. I want to indicate movement and I want to indicate change. Then I use into. But it's always one word, please. Accept, accept, and expect. Accept means to receive something. I accept the present. Accept means not including. My father works every day except Sundays. And expect, to believe that something will happen. I expect my English mark to be excellent this year. Brilliant. The next one, the use of than versus then. Than is a preposition or a conjunction. For example, he is taller than his brother. And then is an adverb or an adjective. We were lost, then we asked for help. You don't make a mistake with the second one. You make the mistake with the first one. You use then instead of than. Okay? So than, he is taller than his brother, whenever I want to indicate a comparison. It's a preposition or a conjunction. Than versus then. Okay. That is how you spell okay. Here we have another threesome. Through, and though. The first through is a preposition, an adverb, or an adjective. I walk through the doorway into the living room. The second one is the past tense of throw. My friend threw his hoodie on the floor of his bedroom. Past tense of throw. And then though, although, but not interchangeable, but sometimes we say though instead of although. Though is a conjunction or an adverb. For example, I was hunting for work. Jobs were scarce though. It's versus its. It's that you spell without the apostrophe is a possessive adjective or possessive pronoun. The cat chases its tail. Now, we learned that to show possession, we use an apostrophe S. And that is why you become confused. It's is the exception. It's with the apostrophe S does not indicate possession. This is the, remember that exception I was talking about earlier? This is this exception. Okay? So it's without the apostrophe. That is the one that indicates possession. But it's that you spell IT apostrophe S indicates omission or contraction. And that is the shortened form, the contracted form of it is a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. So remember now, it's an it's. You want to go with the pattern that you learned about apostrophe S indicating possession, but it's is the exception to the rule. It does not show possession by adding an apostrophe. Next one, true. True and blue. You will be amazed how many of you write it EU. It's true, T-R-U-E. Blue, B-L-U-E. Laying versus lying. You confuse the two a lot. Now there are two lies. The first one is, well, they're all verbs. The first one, lie, lay, lain, and the present participle of that is lying, means I was lying on my bed when my sister just stormed into my room. So irritating. I was lying. Lie means to already be lying. You are in a prone position already when you start your sentence. Lie, lay, past tense form, lain, past participle. The other lie is when you tell a lie. You tell untruth. Lie, lied, lied. It's a weak verb. The first one is a strong verb because the vowels changed. Lie, lied, lied. And the present participle is also lying. So, my best friend lied to me about my girlfriend. Bummer. And then lay, where lie means you are already lying. Lay means you are putting it down. The hen lays an egg. I lay the table before we eat every evening. Do we still do that? So, lay, past tense laid, past participle laid, and here is where the problem comes in. Laying. The present participle is laying. When my father came from work, I was just laying the table. So that's the only place. When you put something down, when there's change, I am putting it down to lie. Then it's lay, laying. If you are already lying, lie, lying, And if you are telling a lie, it's also lying if you want to use the present participle. Then haven't and isn't. You must just follow the rules regarding the apostrophe. This is omission or contraction. Have plus not is haven't. Remember, the apostrophe shows omission. You put it in the place of the letter that you leave out, not the word, the letter that you leave out. So there you leave out the O of not. So you cannot leave out the E as well. It's have not, O is omitted, haven't. So now we have the contracted form haven't. And the same goes for isn't. Is plus not is isn't. Now the problem with isn't is, listen to the word isn't. You want to put an E in there because you hear the E. No, I have is without an E and not without an E that I put together as a contracted form. I leave out the O, omission, and now I have isn't. One word, there is not an E in sight anywhere. And that is it for today. You are going to learn these wonderful hints that I have given you now to correct writing. Could I also ask that you please write in the comments which topics you would like me to discuss, which you would like to hear more about, and I will try to make videos about those so that we can learn and make 2022 the best year ever. Good luck. See you next week.